Hello there, my name is Rowan Cox from English Essentials and welcome to this video. In this video I'm going to share with you, the secrets of mastering English grammar. Now, English grammar is probably the most difficult area of English. I get emails all the time. How do I learn grammar? How do I improve my grammar? What is the quickest way to learn grammar? What is the easiest way to master grammar? And so on. So the first thing is don't focus on grammar. Sounds strange. So until recently, almost everyone who has learned English or any language focused on grammar. Now, I don't know who you are. I don't know you. I haven't met you. But I would say you learned English at school and the focus was grammar for 5 years, 6 years, and maybe you have done some more learning of English, online websites or books and tapes or courses or textbooks or something, and the focus was on grammar drills, grammar rules, and so on. However, after 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, or more learning English, you still feel grammar is difficult, grammar is confusing, how do I master grammar, how do I improve grammar, and so on. And that's my point. You cannot, it's too difficult. So I'll give you an example. Most people drive a car or ride a bike, whether it be a push bike with your feet or a motorbike. Most people do one of those three. So let's use the car as an example. How long does it take for the average person to learn to drive a car? So the first time they get in until they get their license, driving license. How long? 2 months, 3 months, maybe 4 months, right? A few months, right? So from doing nothing until getting your license and you can drive confidently and without crashing, effectively, correctly, it only takes 6 months, let's say, 3, 4, 5, 6 months. But you and almost everyone, it takes 5 years, 10 years, 15, 20, 30 years to learn grammar, and you still don't know, or you still get confused, or there are still problems with grammar. Do you get the idea? Can you see how silly this is? If it takes you 5 years to learn to drive a car, or 10 or 20, and you still, how do I drive a car? It's crazy, right? So if it takes you 5 years and you still have troubles, forget it, give up. It's not going to work. So focusing on grammar is not the way to master grammar. You will improve? Yes. Yes, there will be some things that it will help, but it won't complete the package. You will still have confusion, difficulty, right? So what do? The first one would be to copy native speakers. So I'm a native speaker, native English speaker. Copy me. Listen carefully to the words I use, the sentence structures I do, how the sentences, how do I make the sentences, and so on. Copy native speakers. Get that feeling, that native feeling for how to use the words, how to create the sentences, and so on, the structures. I've always, in fact, before I say that, it's just like your native language. When you speak English, maybe you are still thinking a little about grammar, subject, verb, object, or where is the noun, or something like this, right? Or creating or translating, right? You think in your own language, you translate it, and then you're trying to say it in English. But when you think about your own language, again, I don't know who you are. Maybe Chinese, French, Spanish, Arabic, Bahasa, I don't know your first language. But when you speak your first language, you don't think grammatically. It just comes out by feeling. Sometimes you hear a sentence or you read a sentence and you go, that doesn't feel right, it doesn't sound right. It's not. Right? You go by feeling. And it just happens naturally. So the first step would be, in my opinion, and I've always said this and I love this, and this is how I teach and how I learn languages, is by using templates. Forget the little grammar points, noun, verb, subject. Just learn the sentence and know that sentence is correct, and then change one or two words to create new sentences. That's a template. Using one, changing a little to make new ones. So a very basic example is, what did you do? What did you do? Right? You can change do for will. What will you do? You can change the person. What did you do? What did he do? What did she do? What did they do? What did we do? You can change the action, do, for play, learn, eat, drink, anything, right? Say, speak, learn. So suddenly you have 1,000 new sentences. You learned one sentence template or grammar rule and just change one or two or three words, and now you have 1,000 sentences, 2,000 sentences. Who knows how many you can make. And by creating those sentences and repeating them by changing one word or two words, it creates a pattern in your mind with that sentence. So you don't think, what you did, no, what did you do? You don't have to try to construct the sentence in your brain. It just comes out because you've been practicing the whole sentence. So what did you do? What did she learn? What did he play? It just comes out as a sentence rather than each word like that. So that's one way to master grammar. Now there are three main areas of grammar which almost every person learning English has trouble with, and they are small words, which are prepositions and articles: in, on, at, the. Very difficult, very confusing, and from my experience, other languages have them, but they don't have as many small words as English. So everyone has difficulty learning these in English. The second one is tenses. Future tense, past tense, present tense, what I call everyday tense. And this is the one that people get confused with. I go shopping, no, I do work every day. I am working now. But that's the everyday tense, I do work every day. Present tense, now, I am working now. That tense is very, very confusing for people. And of course the have style, have been, have done, have been doing, confusing. So by copying natives, using those, it's a lot easier. You don't have to try to learn and remember. It just comes to you. The third one is countable and non-countable. One question, two question. Oh, two questions. You forget the S all the time. So is this countable? Is that countable? Is knowledge countable? Is time countable? Is money countable? A lot of money? A lot of monies? Oh, I forget. So these three areas are the most difficult. These three areas are the areas you need a native speaker to help you, give it to you, correct your mistakes, and give you the answers so you can use them correctly. So because this is such a big issue, we use this in our membership, the Speak Like a Native membership. Anything that you really need, especially you need a native speaker to correct your mistakes, to answer your questions, and to give you the correct sentences or grammar or vocabulary or expression or idiom or anything, that's what we have in the membership. That is what our membership is around. There are many free websites out there, and they're good because a lot of the information there doesn't require native speakers to correct your mistake or teach you the correct one. It's just the easier stuff, so it's free. Why not? But where you need corrections and you need a teacher or a native to help you and give you the answers and answer your questions, that's where you need to, well, pay. That's what costs money, and that's what we have in our membership. Anyway, the other one would be to communicate with native English speakers. to chat with them online, Skype or MSN or Yahoo, finding language exchange partners, paying for a private teacher, anything with native speakers is so important. And I'll give you 2 examples. I'm learning Bahasa Indonesian, and I have a language exchange partner and a teacher, and we're chatting away on the MSN, and then I noticed I learned thank you in English is terima kasih in Bahasa. Thank you, terima kasih. And as we're speaking, I noticed many times my teacher would write makasih. I thought, what is makasih? I can see in context it means thank you, makasih. Terima kasih, just shortened. It's just like thank you, thanks, I guess. So now I copy them. I just say makasih instead of terima kasih. So when you chat with native speakers, communicate with them, copy them. Use their style, get the native style, get the native feeling. You don't want to sound like a textbook. Hello, how are you? Fine, thank you, and you? Like this, right? So yeah, chat with them, copy them, look at what they say, hear what they say. That will help you so much. The second example of this copying native speakers thing is when I was in Bali 5 years ago. Now Bali, it's a poor country or a poor island. They don't have great education, they don't have a lot of money and so on. And yet I noticed a lot of the people there, the local people, the Balinese people, spoke very good English. I'm from Australia. Bali is so close to Australia, so their number 1 tourists are Australians. There are so many Australians there. And Australian slang, Aussie slang for hello or how are you is g'day. G'day, mate. And I was walking in Bali and I heard someone say, hey, g'day, mate. I thought, who's this? An Australian person? I looked. It was a Balinese person. I said, who said this? Did you say that? I said, yeah, how's it going, mate? G'day, mate. Where you from? Melbourne? How do you know? And how come your English is so good? How come you speak like an Australian? And the answer is, they spend so much time with the tourists, with native English speakers. They didn't learn it at school, grammar rules. They just watched, listened, and copied all the Australians who went there, and now they speak like an Australian. Perfect English, amazing. So it's just copy, 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 natives. Right, we're going a bit long, so I'll hurry up and almost finish this. The other thing, just like that, is practice. Practice makes perfect. So your time should be about 5% learning and about 95% practicing, right? Just like the Balinese person. They didn't learn a lot, they were practicing all the time. Hey, hello, g'day, how are you? Yeah, you want to buy this? And they would just practice every day to all the tourists. So if you are making mistakes in grammar, you need a native speaker to correct you, then you need to practice that correction so much to change the habit. If you don't, you will keep using the mistake, right? So once you learn something new or a correction, you have to practice it so much that it becomes the new habit. So your correction is what you say now, not the mistake. And once it becomes a habit, it just becomes automatic. You know, you don't have to try to remember everything. You don't have to try to remember all these grammar rules. That's the problem. People try to remember everything. By doing it again, it just becomes natural. It's just like the hello, how are you? Fine, thank you, and you. Right? It's an automatic response. You're not trying to remember this. You have learned hello, how are you equals fine, thank you, and you for many years through textbooks at school and so on. Hello, how are you? Fine, thank you, and you. Even if you are sick or not feeling well, you will still say fine, thank you, and you, because it's an automatic response. You've practiced it so much, it just comes out. And that's what has to be done with all of English sentences. Okay, so keep everything in big pieces. By learning in sentences, one sentence, and just change 1 or 2 words to create hundreds or thousands more sentences, that will be so much quicker, so much easier to build than looking at one sentence and going, oh, there's the noun, subject, verb, object, and oh, is this future tense? Oh, it's a passive. Oh, where's the gerund? By thinking and analyzing and trying to remember all the grammar terms and rules and breaking the sentence down into very small pieces, you will go crazy. And maybe you have sometimes, right? So keep things in learn in sentences, not in words. Okay, I think that's the biggest key here. So I think that's it for this video. Please share your comments below. I'd like to hear what you thought about this video, what you learned from this video. Please leave your comments below, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Good luck.